Well, it's really late at night. I don't know because I can't see the clock from over here. But today was a somewhat productive day. I got a lot of stuff done in terms of stereo equipment, with getting certain systems working and boom boxes and stuff. Wanted to get a bit more done today, but the past couple days I've been pretty productive, I would say. So I'll show you what I've been up to. And it's not really that much in terms of things, but I have these Paradigm speakers here. I picked these up at the Goodwill a good while ago, and one of them had foam rot on the speaker. The other one was fine. I just decided to replace the drivers. I don't remember what size drivers these take, but I hope I can get them working because these would be good bedroom speakers. And I really like how the cabinets on here look. I've also thought about doing a home theater system in my living room at some point in time, and these would be good speakers to use with that. So that's something at some point in time I'll mess with. Another unit I was working on is this little Hamilton Buell boombox. I got this from a friend of mine as a birthday gift, and the CD player on it didn't work somehow, which he thought it did, but no big deal. I have plenty of those, so it was being kind of temperamental getting the CD player in that to work, but I ended up putting one in there from what I believe was a Durabrand. It was like a CD 1096 or 1095. But one of those really basic Durabrands. I took the CD player out of one of those to put it in there, and it worked. It was being a bit finicky at first, and I was having some issues with it, but I got it to work. It has a remote, but the remote only does the CD functions and SD functions if you have, I mean not SD, but USB functions, because it has a import put for a USB on this model. And then I also got a remote from the same person for the JVC, which the CD player in the JVC doesn't work. And when I put back together the Hamilton Buell, I had some issues getting the knob lined up for the tuner, and I had it apart and put it back together 2 times at that point. I think maybe 3. I didn't feel like tearing it apart again to just mess around with it again and get something just to mess with the tuner, which I wasn't really sure how the tuner in this thing worked. So this thing has a good tuner. It just has bad cassette and CD, and this thing has a good CD and cassette, so I'm just using this for cassette and CD. And this has mechanical cassette buttons. I'm not a fan of the electronic cassette controls. Some people like that, but I like the tactile feedback, so that's what I'm doing with that. This really basic blue Emerson was what I was using over there before. I had the Emerson actually sitting up there on the top, but I relocated some stuff because I was because the screen on the Hamilton Buell, I couldn't see it from the ground, and also the power on switch for the Hamilton Buell was like nearly almost in the back of the boombox, so that was an issue I had. Right here is my Next Play Glitz and Glitter boombox, which that's actually what these were advertised as, and that was a big fly. There's a bunch of flies in here right now, but I decided to get this thing out just to mess around with it, because this thing, it's cheap and girly, but this thing's been seeing a lot of stuff in the Lost Media community. There's some lost song or whatever that apparently the song is like associated with this bum box. So yeah, and a whole bunch of videos came up for it on my recommended feed on YouTube after talking about it with a friend or something. So was just in the mood to get this thing out. And this thing's it's such a weird nugget, I would say. All the lettering on it's in a really weird text. It's like a cursive text. It has a green FM stereo light, which is a bit odd. And it's bejeweled, so the knobs are bejeweled and the buttons are bejeweled, and then it has like sparkles or whatever on the top of it. And there's a blue version of this, which I actually just found today on YouTube. I was going through and I saw one in a thrift store, which I didn't know existed. My friend also says there's a translucent blue version of this, and there's also another version, like a white version of this one. It's also girls themed. I personally like this one because I like hot pink, and the weird text and the bejeweled buttons are kind of cool. So, yeah, I'm not saying I'm a girl, but I just think the design of that boombox is really cool. It sounds like crap, but that's the appeal of cheap boomboxes to me, is how bad they sound. I have kind of a love for cheesy audio equipment, and that's actually where this next thing comes into play. So this right here is my Durabrand CD1493. This was my first one. That right there is my second one. The speakers are swapped around, but I took the speakers from that one there, and I put different drivers, and I also added tweeters in there. Tweeters from a set of Iowa speakers, which are right here. They had standalone tweeters, and then the freaking piezo tweeters, which I couldn't think of that, so it was like good 20 seconds thinking of what those are called, but everything was there. Put everything together. The tweeters I had to kind of install a bit differently. I actually had to install them in here using hot glue. So, took out the little plastic piece. The tweeters are attached to both of these here. I'm also going to drill out a bass port with a Dremel along the inside here, and I'm also thinking of putting some padding in these speakers to give them a bit more of a better sound. So I'm going to have two sets because I'm not sure what's going on with this system. This system here seems like it has some issues. I'm going to try to get it to work right. Currently, right now, I don't have my left channel working on it, and I have cassette issues. So no matter what, I'm going to have to take it apart. I tried spraying off the switch to see if I can get the switch to work. I tried the socket. I tried messing with the volume knob. I've tried a lot of things, but I've not gotten anything to work yet on this boombox. So as of right now, it's still kind of, like, really broken. And I hope to get it working at some point in time, because it would be nice to have a kind of more of a beat-up CD1493 to have around, but still can't really seem to get it working. I dragged this Suckvania out the other day because I've not used it in a while, and I was like, hey, I should use this thing. I don't use this enough, so I got this boombox out. It works. Do I have a CD in there? No. It can go back on the shelf, but it exists. If I can get it in there, because this one doesn't like to fit on the shelf for some reason. This is that one Duquesne speaker that I bumped the ladder into that pretty much just fricked it up, so now it's all screwed up now off the contacts, so I have to get a new driver for that. This Memorex was in my kitchen, but I decided to change it out with the Caliphone Spirit. I was originally going to put the Hamilton Buell in there, but then it was giving me CD issues. Now it's giving me tuner issues. I might fix the Hamilton Buell sometime in the future. I have the Craig, which I was using the Craig while I was working on these things. I still have the garage system with the Philips. I have the one speaker up there, but I plan on putting another speaker over there. I have the speaker. It's over here. This one's a Valcom, which you can't really see. And that one is a Simplex. And speaking of Valcom, there was a nearby warehouse that caught fire and burned down, so I was sifting through the rubble, and I found this Valcom PA horn that's just absolutely melted. So I want to see if this thing still works, because I've heard these horns are pretty reliable, and it would be cool if I can get it to work. Who knows, I might tear the driver out of it and put it in something else. These are those Iowa speakers. Like I said, I tore parts off of these. They had piezo tweeters and a normal tweeter, and then bass ports at the bottom. These are the drivers. These things are actually pretty light, and I should have probably not been resting them like that, because now it's like all... still seems to be fine. But these are going in the Paradigms. And these things have nice big magnets on them. Hopefully they fit. If not, I'll probably have to try to ghetto them in there. But it's nothing I can't handle. I managed to get oversized tweeters in a Durabrand. And hopefully I'll make a video at some point in time of the Durabrand and the other stuff. I have another YouTube channel called Public Segnog, which I do destruction and audio equipment videos on. It's a group channel. My friend Mike, who's the person who sent me to Hamilton Beal, and Brian Fanafan17, we all upload various things on there. But it's mostly a mix of destruction content and audio content. So, and it's a wide range, mostly stuff that, like boomboxes and things. I've also recently thought about making my own YouTube channel just about cheesy audio equipment, because for some reason everyone hates it, but I like cheap audio equipment because I grew up around this shit. So, I came from a poor family, so yeah, this is kind of my jam. So I'm thinking of possibly making a channel about this. I don't know if anyone would be interested in it. Mainly, I'm not going to like praise early 2000s electronics and stereo equipment and say that they're great, because they're not. But it's more of a thing to joke around and tease these things and expose how bad they really are, and also just get a big-ass collection of abysmal nuggets from mostly Craig and other cheesy brands that probably were sold out of a van in the Walmart parking lot. But still, in terms of that, I have to get those speakers up there. It's probably about 1 a.m., and not worth taking those things apart, but who knows, I might get into those paradigms, at least take the one driver out of the other one and open the back panels, and they have fiberglass insulation in them, but I think I might do something else, because I think I have some styrofoam upstairs, and I might line the cases inside of these with styrofoam, so, just to see how styrofoam works. So we'll see, but I hope to get some use out of these. I really like how these speakers look, and these might go in my bedroom in place of the Sonys. So, thank you very much for watching, and keep the breeze.